more of James with Wade out of the lineup. That proved to be the case. The Heat rode James back, putting the ball in his hands. James ran the point on occasion, allowing him to set up the offense. Sixers had no answer for James in the fourth, especially after Andre Iguodala left in the third with a left eye concussion after being poked. Iguodala did not return, leaving James free to do whatever on the court. Wade is listed as a game-time decision for today's game against Oklahoma City. Spoelstra called his status hopeful. Heat swingman Mike Miller missed his 12th straight game with a sprained left ankle. However, he did participate in the morning shoot-around, showing he is closer to returning. The Heat have defeated the Sixers in 11 straight regular season games, the longest streak in the history of the series. So, the next games for the Heat. Today hosting the Thunder, that's a loss. Friday hosting Memphis, that's a win. Sunday hosting Detroit, that's a win. Now for the Sixers, Wednesday hosting the Toronto, that's a win. Saturday hosting Orlando, that's a loss. And Sunday, that's a loss. So, there you guys go. And now, we're going to see the game stats. So, the Heat barely won in field goal percentage. They had 46-7, and Philadelphia had 45-8. 3-point field goal percentage. It's pretty awful. 30% Philadelphia, 23.1 Heat. Free throw percentage, 82.4 Philadelphia, 81.2 Heat. So total rebounds, 43 Miami, 38 Philadelphia. Offensive rebounds, 11 Miami, 10 Philadelphia. Turnovers, 17 Miami, 16 Philadelphia. Fast break points, 14 Philadelphia, 11 Miami. Biggest lead, 5 Philadelphia, 10 Miami. Points in the paint, 46 Philadelphia, 42 Miami. So there you go. Now the player stats. 26 Turner for Philadelphia, 41 James Miami. 8 rebounds Turner for Philadelphia, 11 Haslam for Miami. 6 assists Holiday for Philadelphia. 2 players had 4 each for the Heat. Steals, Brand had 4 for Philadelphia. 2 players each had 3 for Miami. Brand had 3 for Philadelphia, and 2 players had 2 each for Miami. So, the series is a sweep for the Heat. They average 98.5 points in the series, while Philadelphia, they averaged 85.5. So there you go. That's a complete analysis of the Heat-Sixers game from last night. So next after the commercial in the SB show, we're going to see how the NBA playoffs are looking. So that's going to be afterwards, and then we're going to transition to the NHL playoffs, and then Rumor Boom, hopefully, really, and what was that? In the beginning of what was that. So we'll see you guys in a bit in the SB show.
You know what? You gotta admit that Tim Tebow, what he wants to do is bring the Jets to the top. That's what he wants to do. He wants to make the Jets a playoff team. He wants to be a solid backup quarterback. He wants to be the best backup quarterback in the history of the National Football League. I don't know what to tell you. I just can't be your... I am only a sports show, talk show host. The only thing I can tell you is that any guy of the sport that kneels down to prove, I'm not saying that anything wrong with that, I'm just saying that any guy like him is good because he's focused on his work and he's committed to his goals. And if you ask me, he is definitely better than Drew Stanton. Anyhow, Drew Stanton is in Indianapolis. There's just no excuse. Tim Tebow is going to be better than Drew Stanton. We just have to see how much better he is going to be. But that he's going to be better is the truth. Now, if you're going to tell me Tim Tebow is going to be the best backup quarterback in the NFL, you know what I'm going to tell you? It's not happening. Tune in to the SB Show. YouTube.com/user/capital S lowercase p capital S lowercase p o r t s capital C lowercase ORNER. YouTube.com/user/SpSportsCorner. Make sure to tune in and subscribe now. The SP Show. Everything sports related and a bit more.
And we are back with the SP Show. So, in the East, you have Chicago and Miami clinched. You have Indiana, Boston, Orlando, Atlanta, Philadelphia, New York. You have Milwaukee, 1.5 games behind New York. And you have Detroit, 6.5 games behind. You have Washington and Charlotte eliminated from the East playoffs. Next, in the West. In the West, you have the Oklahoma City Thunder clinched. You have San Antonio, LA Lakers, LA Clippers, Memphis, Dallas, Denver, Houston. Utah is 1 game behind, and Phoenix is 1.5 games behind. New Orleans is eliminated in the West. So there you go, guys. That's how the NBA playoffs are looking as of now. So, yeah, guys. Now we're gonna transition to the NHL as I promised. So in the NHL, there's just games going to close up the season, and pretty much the last remaining playoff positionings are taking place. So the playoffs as of now are looking as follows. Okay, so you have the following teams in the playoffs. You have the New York Rangers in the East, clinched the conference. You have the Boston Bruins, number 2, they clinched the division. You have Florida. You have Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New Jersey, and Ottawa clinched a playoff spot. Then you have Washington. And then you have Buffalo tied with Washington for the 8th seed. You have Winnipeg, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Toronto, New York Islanders, and Montreal eliminated from the East. Now, Washington is only 4 points behind Florida for the division title. Washington needs to win their last 2 games remaining to tie for the division title. If they get an overtime loss, they are in risk of getting out of the playoffs. Why? Because Buffalo is tied with them. They also have 2 games. So now it's between Washington and Buffalo for the fight for the 8th seed. Both teams are inconsistent. So whichever one of the 2 teams between Washington and Buffalo that wins the most points will make it into the playoffs. So 2 games remaining for each. They need to try their best because the one that fares the best in the end makes the playoff. So that's how it is, pretty much sudden death. Now in the West, you have Vancouver and St. Louis. They clinched the division. They have the LA Kings. You have the Nashville Predators, Detroit Red Wings, and Chicago Blackhawks. They clinched the playoff spot. Then you have the Phoenix Coyotes and the San Jose Sharks. The Dallas Stars are 3 points behind San Jose for the 8th seed. They have 2 games left as well as San Jose. If they get an overtime loss, they have to win their last game. They have to. If they win this one, they can get an overtime the next game. But they need to hope that San Jose doesn't get more than 1 point. If San Jose gets a point, Dallas would need to win both of their last games to tie with San Jose. If San Jose gets another win, the Dallas Stars are out. The Colorado Avalanche are still in the playoff contention. They have 2 games left, but they are 4 points behind San Jose. So they have to hope that San Jose loses their 2 games remaining. That's how the playoffs are looking. Now you have Calgary, Minnesota, Anaheim, Edmonton, and Columbus eliminated from the West. So these are the these are the playoff matches. As of now, these are going to be the playoff matchups from both conferences. You have the Rangers and the Capitals in the East. That's a repeat from last year. You have Boston, Ottawa. You have Florida, New Jersey, and you have Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. In the West, you have Vancouver, San Jose, a repeat from last year. You have St. Louis, Phoenix. You have LA, Chicago, and you have Nashville, Detroit. So there are a lot of good matchups, but it's not sealed yet. It almost is though, because every team has most 3 games left, so it's almost over. So we have a minute left until we have to go to commercial break. So when we come back from the commercial, we're going to transition to the NFL, where we are going to tell any rumors in the rumor boom for the NFL, NBA, MLB, some NHL rumors. Mostly injuries though. But when we come back, we're going to do rumor boom and probably in there as what was that the first time we're going to do the new segment. So when we come back from the commercial, we'll do all those things on the SP show.
You know what? You gotta admit that Tim Tebow, what he wants to do is what he wants to do is put the Jets to the top. That's what he wants to do. He wants to make the Jets a playoff team. He wants to be a solid backup quarterback. He wants to be the best backup quarterback in the history of the National Football League. I don't know what to tell you. I just can't be your I am only a sports show talk show host. The only thing I can tell you is that any guy of the sport that kneels down to I'm not saying that anything wrong with that. I'm just saying that any guy like him is good because he's focused on his work and he's committed to his goals. And if you ask me, he is definitely better than Drew Stanton. Anyhow, Drew Stanton is in Indianapolis. There's just no excuse. Tim Tebow is going to be better than Drew Stanton. We just have to see how much better he is going to be. But that he's going to be better is the truth. Now, if you're going to tell me Tim Tebow is going to be the best backup quarterback in the NFL, you know what I'm going to tell you? It's not happening. Tune in to the SP Show. YouTube.com/user/capital S lowercase p capital S lowercase PORTS capital C lowercase ORNER. YouTube.com/user/SpSportsCorner. Make sure to tune in and subscribe now. The SP Show. Everything sports related and a bit more.
And we are back, guys, with Rumor Boom. Let's get this going. Alright, guys, so in Rumor Boom, we're gonna start actually with MLB rumors, now that I think about it. Yeah, we're gonna start with MLB rumors, so let's see. Let me see. MLB rumors. Alright, so you have so you have the following negotiations. There's a lot of contract extensions, more than just trades. There's really no trades happening right now. A few releases, but they're mostly contract extensions. So the Giants extend Matt King. He was set to go to the Dodgers if he didn't get extended. but he didn't, so that's good.